268 abstained. Hey, let's go through riding by riding. I didn't see that. Just scroll down a little bit. Were there any districts? Okay, so it looks like we're in Newfoundland there. Scroll down. Let's go to, what's Chrystia Freeland's own district? Is it university? Is that what they call it? There it is. So scroll up to the very top. I just want to see which category is which person. So the very first name is Frank Baylis. So it's Frank Baylis, then Mark Carney, then Chrystia Freeland, then Karina Gould. So it is in alphabetical order. You see that? So the column on the left is Baylis, Carney, Freeland. So let's put up University-Rosedale again. So show that on the screen and just highlight that line. So remember, the first number is Frank Baylis. He got 32. The next number is Mark Carney, 1,322. The next number is Chrystia Freeland, 188. And then the last number is Karina Gould, 51. Do you mean to say, are you seriously saying that in University-Rosedale, Chrystia Freeland's own district, are you saying that Mark Carney walloped her by, like, what's that, sixfold? Like by 6 times as many? Let me do some quick math here. You have 32 for Baylis. Forgive me, I just can't believe this number. 1,322 for Carney. What's that? 188 for Freeland and 51 for Gould. That's a total of 1,593 in University-Rosedale. I find that credible. So our hero, am I doing this wrong? Jump in if I'm doing this wrong. Baylis, Carney, Freeland, Gould. So 188 divided by 1,593. Are you saying that Chrystia Freeland only got 11.8% of the vote in her own riding? Only 188 people? I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I mean, I find Chrystia Freeland as unlikable as the rest of you do. I don't believe it. What's the district? Let's check Karina Gould's. I think she's Karina Gould. She's in the district of, I just forgot. I'm just looking it up here. Burlington, that's right. Can you find the Burlington numbers? And put it on the big screen and we'll look for everybody. So remember how it goes. This is alphabetical. And Olivia, I'm counting on you to stop me if I'm doing it wrong. So 22 for Baylis, 818 for Carney, 47 for Freeland, and, 190, looks like, for Gould in her own district. So again, are you saying that 4 times as many people voted for Mark Carney as voted for Karina Gould, and a politician and a cabinet minister in her own district can only muster 190? In fact, can you scroll through this right now? Is there a single district where Carney didn't come in first? I'm just looking here. Go to Brampton. Let's see if this held in ethnically diverse, very diverse places like Brampton. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's do Brampton. Either one. Let's do Brampton West there. Let's take a look. So Brampton, for those of you who don't know, is sort of west of Toronto, and it's about 80 or 90% new Canadians. A lot of Sikh community there. So in Brampton West, and I'm just picking a district in Brampton. So they have 6 votes for Frank Baylis, I believe it. 228 for Carney. 12, like almost single digits, for Freeland, and just 4 for Gould. So you're saying that in Brampton, that's all the votes there were. Normally, the nominations there have thousands of people. Scroll up to the very, very top. I want to make sure I'm looking at the numbers right and that I understand what we're showing here. Scroll up to the very top of the document. Yeah, votes, and then they break down the votes into points, which is basically they turn it into a percentage. What's the lowest place for Carney in the whole country? Scroll down. Let's just take a look at this together. Like he's getting high 80s and 90s in Newfoundland. Keep scrolling. And now we're in, Acadie Bathurst. So now we're in New Brunswick, high 80s and 90s. Abitibi, that's I think that's in Quebec. Stop there for a second. Go up just a touch. So Abitibi, Bay James, Nunavik. I think that's in the far north of Quebec. Abitibi, Bay James. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's really in the far north. Hold with me for 1 second. Yeah, that's the huge district that is so large. It's this vast northern place. But you see what I'm seeing there, Olivia? 16 people voted. 16, right? 12 for Carney, 3 for Freeland, and 1 for Gould. You're saying only 16 people in that entire, now it's a very sparse place, but only 16? I don't even know what to make of that. Go to Calgary. Can you type in Calgary? I know we're spending a little bit of time on this. Let's look at Calgary Heritage. That's sort of a very conservative place in Calgary. Yeah, the votes here are very similar. Look at the percentage on the right there. Yeah, he's just getting in the mid 80s here. It's all so uniform. Would you agree with me that it's all extremely uniform? Like, is it really possible that in every single district, how can you have so little variation? I'm just looking at that. Now I'm looking at the column, the third from the right, because pause for a second. So let me explain to you what these columns are. The 4 columns on the left, put it back up for a sec. Yeah, perfect. The 4 columns on the left are the raw vote count, right? So in Avalon, which is a beautiful part of Newfoundland, 8 for Carney, 8 for Baylis, 252 for Carney, 24 for Freeland, 4 for Karina Gould. That's the raw votes. You see it says that there, votes? And then the next 4 lines, they've converted that into a percentage. They call that points, which is just what it sounds like. So if you want to quickly see the percentage of any candidate, you don't have to figure it. I foolishly did the calculations there a minute ago I didn't need to do the calculation because they sort of do the calculation for you, right? So scroll down and tell me if this, it's so weird. The statistical likelihood of Mark Carney getting between 85 and 95, like put that up and just scroll it. Let's just scroll through it. Like there's no, put it up on the screen and just scroll. I'm looking at the Carney percentage. 90, 79, 82, 82, 84, 86, 83, 87, 88, 87, 88, 87, 88. Oh, 92, big deviation. 87, 96, 90, 91, 85, 84. Okay, there's a low one, 76. 88, 87, 88, 87, 87, 86, 88, 89. You're telling me this is random? 87, 82, 80. Are you telling me that in every single district, from the west to the east, from the north to the south, that it's all within this tiny bandwidth? 86, 87, 86, 87, 86, 87, 86. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. Are you telling me that there was a grand total of, and no matter what the numbers are, like we showed you how few people voted. Stop for a second there. Look at that line. I'm just picking a line at random. Scroll up a tiny bit. Scarborough North. So few people voting there. Do you see that line? 5 for Baylis, 174 for Carney, 13 for Freeland, and 4 for Gould. And wouldn't you know, so that's such a small number. If you know anything about Scarborough, that is a political place, especially for the Liberals. What's the total vote there? 179, 189, 194. Like less than 200 people. Are you saying that less than 200 people in Scarborough voted? I know Scarborough a little bit. I don't live there, but I know it a little bit. And wow, what are the odds? Mark Carney gets 88.78% there. Keep scrolling. Scroll down. Let's just take a look. No matter the city, no matter the town, rural, urban, north, south, francophone, like I just can't believe it. I do not believe it. And it's so, what are the odds? I don't think this is statistically possible. This is a 1 in a billion. Like I'm looking at that number of Carney votes as a percentage of points. There's the odd one there, like stop right there. Battleford, Lloydminster, Meadow Lake. I know that place. That's sort of central western Saskatchewan. So it does not surprise me that the grand total of voters was 64, 73, 78. You see that? Battleford's, Lloydminster, Meadow Lake. 5 people voted for Baylis. Who are they? 59 for Carney, 9 for Freeland, and 5 for Karina Gould. This is impossible. Olivia, this is not real. Those are not real numbers. I do not believe that out of, I think there's 338 districts right now. Let me check. How many electoral districts in Canada? I think there's 338. That's expanding to 343, but I don't think that's what's in here. Either way, let's say 340 districts, whatever it is. We just scrolled through them all. What is the statistical likelihood of every single riding, rural or urban, northern or southern, eastern or western, English or French, New Canadian or Old Stock, that every single one is within this tiny bandwidth on every, and the only places that are a tiny bit off are when the numbers are so small, they really couldn't be broken down differently. That is, I call BS. I haven't taken a statistics class since college. I really enjoyed it, by the way. What we witnessed there is, in my lay judgment, statistically impossible. I'd like you to play a couple of minutes of the opening of one of the quirkiest movies I've ever seen. It's called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. Who are they? Those are not Jewish names, even though they sound that way. They're Danish names, I think. And they're 2 minor characters in the play Hamlet. And so it was a fun Hollywood movie where they made the whole movie. Who are these 2 characters in this Shakespeare play? It was a very quirky movie. And it was about 35 years ago. You'll recognize Gary Oldman and Tim Roth, who have gone on to a great success in the theater. Can I play for you this opening scene? And you'll understand fairly quickly why I'm showing it to you. Go ahead and play it. It's a strange start to a movie, but it gets stranger. Take a look. There's Tim Roth, Gary Oldman. coin.
Whoa.
They found a coin. Is it a lucky coin?
Whoa.
What would happen if Mark Carney picked up that coin and tossed it? Would it be heads or tails, do you think?
Heads.
Heads. Okay.
Heads.
Oh, okay.
Heads.
Again. Huh.
Heads.
Really? 4 times in a row.
Heads.
Oh, 5 times.
Heads.
Really? That's quirky.
Heads. Heads. Heads.
Mark Carney, 86%.
Heads.
Mark Carney, 85%.
Heads.
Mark Carney, 87%.
Heads.
Mark Carney, 90%.
Heads.
Mark Carney, 84%.
Heads.
Mark Carney, 85%.
Heads.
Mark Carney, 85.9%.
Heads.
Mark Carney, 86%. Mark Carney, 82%. Mark Carney, every time.
Heads.
Mark Carney. What are the odds of a coin toss being heads 100 times in a row? The answer to that is 1 over 2 to the power of 100, which is an incredibly small number. But what are the odds, by the way, of the next one? Let's say you had heads 100 times in a row. What are the odds of the next one going heads? The answer is actually still 50-50. Now, I just said 2 to the 100th power. What if you flip a coin 100 times and you get heads 100 times in a row? The number wouldn't even fit on a calculator. It would be so small. But what if you did 338 districts and every single one Mark Carney won by almost exactly the same margin, plus or minus a couple of points? What are the odds of that? Well, what are the odds of getting heads in a coin toss 100 times in a row? So small I can't even calculate them. I'm going to calculate them to make my point here. 2 to the power of 100. And then inverse that. That's my calculator can't even help that. Can't even work on that. But I think it's 1 over... It doesn't even fit on my calculator. The number is so big, it takes up the whole screen of my calculator. It's impossible. It would be like not finding a needle in the haystack. It would be like finding a needle in the galaxy. 1 over 2 to 100. The odds of getting heads 100 times in a row are a grain of sand on our planet, finding 1 grain of sand. What are the odds of Mark Carney getting 85% plus or minus 5 in 338 districts? Even in Chrystia Freeland's hometown, even in Karina Gould's hometown. Are you telling me that Chrystia Freeland could only muster 188 friends in University-Rosedale? Her board alone is 30 people, her personal staff, her family. Are you telling me that there were only 188 people in her riding where she's been working tirelessly for a decade? Are you telling me that? I'm sorry, I don't believe it. Go flip a coin 100 times in a row, and I'll believe that more than I believe this. Or Karina Gould in Burlington. Has Mark Carney ever been to Burlington? Can he find it on a map? Mark Carney lives in Ireland or New York or London. I don't know where he lives. I don't think he's ever been to Burlington in his life. And are you telling me that he crushed Karina Gould in her hometown, where her friends are, where her family is, where her neighbors are, where her staff are? Are you telling me, and with the same percentage, are you telling me Mark Carney's percentage is the same everywhere in the country, including in Chrystia Freeland's district and Karina Gould's district? Oh, and I'm also supposed to believe, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, but by the way, we've disqualified 2/3 of the votes, and by the way, we're not telling you who disqualified them or how, and by the way, we do acknowledge that foreign nationals are allowed to participate and children as young as 14, but trust us, this is a secure and robust process, and you know that because we just sent out an email about that. Not that we're a little worried about you thinking it, but we're just going to lead with that. Hey, everybody. We had an election last night and it was really secure. Have you ever heard anyone say that in your life? Hey, how did the election go last night? What happened in the election last night? Well, it was really secure, guys. Really? Hey, welcome to Canada. Do you have anything to declare at the border stop? Yeah, officer, I'm definitely not smuggling drugs. Well, we didn't say you did, brother. Hey, last night the Liberal Party had a very secure and robust election. You did you? For Mark Carney, a globalist man no one's ever heard of until 10 minutes ago, who has 3 different passports, who works closely with China, and when he was the chair of Brookfield, had a lot of dealings in China. And do you think China and their cyber force, do you think they have the ability to crack the Liberal Party of Canada's top-notch security? Oh, just maybe. But look at how dumb they did it. Like, not a single riding did Mark Carney do poorly in.
Canadians know the national anthem. They stand in silence to remember those who died for this country. But not every Canadian knows their rights and freedoms. The Freedom Passport will change that. It looks and feels like a Canadian passport, but contains the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms in a portable, easy-to-read format. The Freedom Passport. Order one for yourself and for all the freedom lovers that you love at freedompassport.ca.